Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Young County Commissioners Court, regular meeting, Tuesday, May the 26th, 2015. We're off of our schedule slightly because of Memorial Day. But let the record show that the meeting has been posted in the manner for the time required, and that all members of the court are present. If it's convenient, please stand. Please, Mr. Sykes.
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings that you shower upon us. We're often less than deserving, and we appreciate your grace. Thank you for the moisture. Thank you for the water. Please protect those who are in the way of this flooding rain, but thank you for relieving this parched land, breaking this drought for us. Please be with all of our men and women in the armed forces who stand between our great country and the evil that is lurking, wanting to deal damage to it. Thank you for all your blessings. Bless us today to the work that we're about to perform. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, please be seated. If it please the court, let's move down to item number 12. We've got Richard Liggett here. I believe he wants to address the court. He's got some points to make. He's got part to play.
I appreciate being able to be moved up a little bit on your schedule today. Max Roberts' funeral this morning. I'm involved with the funeral some today, so I appreciate that.
Please state your name, Mr. Liggett.
Richard Liggett.
Okay.
I'm on the Soil and Water Conservation Board here in Young County, and we have, in my opinion, a real need to have some recognition and advertising for the Soil and Water Conservation District. One of the reasons I feel particularly strong about that is that if you look at the records, you'll find that there's more congressmen in Houston area than there is in total west of I-35. So we need to have as much recognition as we can in agriculture, farming, and ranching here. So what I've proposed to our board, and the board's approved, up to this point, they put erecting of some signs on the entering roads into the county. We've designated, it's on the very last page in the document I handed to you, but there's 8 locations there that we've designated to coming into the county. We've done some, on the very front page, just gives you some of a sketch of what we propose the sign to be, and the dimensions, rough dimensions of it. 4-H Club has already prepared some signs. They're ready to erect. And then the sign that you're looking at over here is Haskell Soil and Water Conservation, is a sign that some of the Haskell County has been using. And I simply borrowed their sign, one of them that hadn't been erected yet, to show as an illustration of what the sign looks like. The sign is aluminum on both sides, and it has a core filler for rigidity and strength of it. The fellow that builds them over there he's a farmer and rancher himself, named LaFleur. I don't know him personally, but just had recommendations to pursue with him, and they're pleased with the signs over in Haskell County, and he's made a lot of signs that way. On the second page there, just a little more information about the signs. Materials that we're talking about, and I worked with the TxDOT on this as far as materials are concerned. But in conversation with him, he advised me that there potentially were some funds available through the county. He asked me told me that the Commissioners Court would have to approve and request by letter that some of those funds be allocated to construct these signs. As far as selecting locations are concerned, as I indicated, there's 8 different locations that we've identified, and we just want to pick areas that are real high visibility. They don't have to be exactly on the county line, but close to the county line, and preferably on a slight left curve, so you get more visibility as people are driving down the highway towards it. The sign construction, I've talked to Jeff Jones at the high school, Graham High School here, and he's offered to provide services to construct the sign that we can get the material, which would be great practice for those FFA kids. And they've sort of put a plug in a little bit for them. They just have been recognized here recently as having only one of the only high school in the state that has been approved by the Welders Association. I forgot now what the title of it is, but it's a good recognition. You go up to their shop up there, you think you're in a welding shop someplace. They've got a lot of good equipment and are doing a lot of good work there.
Newcastle started doing that too. They've started doing
I think that's great training for our community. We got a great need for welders here in this area, so it's a great program there for them.
Brenham has one of the only certified, I think the only certified welding school, high school.
Right. And then I talked to Hub Machine, and got some ideas from them as well as far as construction. And then they indicated that he thought he could get the galvanizing done with $50 to $55 a sign, and that would include galvanizing as well as carrying them to and from Fort Worth to where they'd be galvanized. The signs themselves, Larry Lefevre from Haskell, they're 4x5, a green background with white lettering, similar to the sign that you're seeing here that I brought in this morning. As far as erecting the signs is concerned, Brad Morrison, the county agent, has indicated that he'd assist in getting volunteers to help put up the signs after we find the selection of the location. And I threw in here the possibility that we might use some of the jail inmates to assist with some of that as well. Down at the very bottom is the total cost. The signs, $280 a piece. As what you see here, that would be $280. There's 8 of them, $2,240. Then the item B is materials provided by TxDOT and the county, if you approve that. And then the fabrication, I just threw in a $500 donation to the high school for their services to make the signs. And then the galvanizing, the $8 to $50, $400, our total cost that we would have would be $3,140. On the next page is the material cost for the signs, for the frames for the signs, 3 square tubing, $260 a foot, $119. Some angle iron, $41, flat iron, $33, cement, $60, total per frame, $253, or for 8 signs, be $2,030. Any questions that you might have?
Is that on top of the sign, or is that included in the total cost of the sign?
And that's just the frame, this 2,000.
Okay, so that's added to the 31?
Correct.
A little over $5,000.
But what we're asking for your consideration is only this $2,030, not the other part of the sign.
Okay.
We're just asking for this is strictly the materials to make the frame to mount the sign on.
Okay, so Stormwater Conservation Service,
We'll have to
about the sign itself?
Correct.
Okay, for the 3140?
Right. Yep. Yes, that's correct. Any other questions?
So TxDOT's going to service everything on this third page.
Pardon me?
TxDOT's going to supply everything on the third page.
County, yeah, $2,030.
Does the county currently have funds available for this type of project?
Well, what does the county have done? What's being asked, I believe, of us is to furnish these through our surplus materials.
Right program.
Right, 43, well, it used to be 43, I don't think maybe 19 now. It's that rider, surplus material rider that we have allocated to us annually. And we may have reached our max this year, it may have to come out of the next, if such happens, it may have to come out of next year's. Is that right, Jimmy?
Yes.
Is that the program require the base material to next up?
Yes. When I think the size of the material you got for out there is through that also. Pipes and stuff.
Each district's allocated an amount of money that's administered through the district engineer. The district office in each county within that district has an allocation calculated by some means.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Young County's is, do you know?
It's somewhere around 18,000, something like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
TxDOT manager mentioned $17,000 to $18,000, but he did indicate he thought that there would not be adequate funds in this year's budget to do it. It'd have to be in the budget starting in the fall, which fits us just fine because the schools won't be available to make the signs until fall.
You know, that's, don't give up that much.
Is those funds allocated per county, per precinct?
It's a lump sum. And it's each one of us, you get an opportunity to do whatever you want to do, yes.
All of us have the same people opportunity to get those funds?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind giving them $500 for the funds.
Me,
Richard, look, these signs, they'll be erected, I was taking it on private property. Yes, sir. Right next to the right of way out here. I've seen them everywhere.
There's not many in this area.
Now,
You get in some areas, there's a bunch of them, but this area doesn't have many. Archer County did a few years ago. There is one actually coming into Young County on Highway 16 now from Archer County. But there's not many around them.
Each 4-H club has, in that area, has an opportunity to put up their own sign, advertising their 4-H club also.
Right.
There's no restrictions to that.
No, sir.
that particular 4-H is Young County.
Pardon me?
Is the intent to include Young County 4-H or a particular 4-H club?
Young County, what our intent was here. And there's, as I say, there's the county, the 4-H people have already built 5 signs. So they would, if they participate in these other 3, which I think they will, then they'll have to go ahead and have 3 more made themselves. But they've already got 5 ready to put up, like simple as this right here. They're at 4 by, they're at 3 by 5 dimensions.
Or will be included in this particular structure? Will be in
No,
they're in the same
the
structure.
very front page of that
Same structure.
same structure, we just put the 2 signs on one frame.
very good.
Other questions? Appreciate your consideration.
Thank you.
Whatever we decide, we're not gonna have to, it's not gonna be this year, it'll be this next fiscal year.
Right.
Yeah. We'll be starting October 1st.
Try to keep that in mind for some of the budget talks. Make provisions for that, maybe in that.
You will take
It
that.
is, we don't know. Well,
Yeah.
may not, may not.
Part of this discussion.
I'll let it does is just
Need a written letter.
a written letter stating that we give them the authorization to use that funds for the rider program.
To the text line.
Yeah, I don't have no problem doing that.
Go ahead, vote.
I need a motion to approve.
We get it over with.
Bullock to go ahead and,
Authorize the judge to sign a letter stating that.
letter.
I'll second that. $22,030.
I believe so. 230. Yeah.
2030.
80 cents.
And 80 cents.
The Young County Soil and Water Conservation District to be able to get the material to make the sign frames for the soil and water conservation and the 4-H clubs of Young County.
And is this what we're budgeting for next year?
Well, this is not gonna do anything to our budget. This is out of the rider program for the state.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Wiley, to authorize Young County Judge to issue a request from TxDOT for surplus material pursuant to construction of signs with regard to the Young County Soil and Water Conservation District and Young County 4-H clubs to be appropriated out of our next fiscal year's allocation.
That's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. 5-0. We'll have to get that off. Right. Don't have that written down.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, item number 3. Public comments, announcements, presentations. These are no action items. You have in your packet a notice of public hearing for Regional Water Planning Group, Area D. Just affects basically the very northeast part of the county, including Alny. Northwest, that'd be correct. And we have the jail inspection. We've got the sheriff here, the big Lord, Mr. Brown. Do you care to make any comment with regard to the jail inspection? We have the contents here reported in our package.
Yes, sir. It was last Monday. The jail inspector was Jackie Simler. She came by. She inspected the jail. For the most part, she said she was very, very happy with our progress. She had a couple of things that she helped us with, such as TB testing, and also we got that taken care of today on site. And we had a fire panel issue where just one of the warning lights came on, the trouble lights. The only thing that was from is when we were washing the cells out, we got a little condensation in one of the monitors. We replaced it, like I said, before she left. And I believe her words to the sheriff and the judge were that she was very happy with what we have done with the jail. So, if you all have any questions?
All the cells, 100% usable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The security camera system is 100%.
Yes, sir.
The jail did look, it was quite tidy. It looked good. It looked like it was scrubbed down. Check that.
Thank you.
Sanitation looked better.
Thank you.
I don't think she generally had good report, good clerk report.
Sure.
So she should be back for a year.
She comes back once a year. Yes, sir.
Did she indicate, did she communicate, or was she gonna come back to check some of the things?
She would come back as a follow-up on the fire panel, just to make sure within 30 to 60 days that everything was working right, so, and that's it.
But she understood about, when they power washed the cells, the water got.
Short circuit.
Yeah,
Sure.
Are those sensors in every sale?
Yes, sir.
So that's just in one or two sales?
Just on one.
Just one sale?
Is that a ceiling problem, or is it just the way we use the water?
No, sir, whenever we were in there and we actually power washed the cells before we painted them, like I said, the condensation got in one of the monitors there, and when it does that, you're gonna have to just replace it. We had the fire panel company come, and they replaced it.
So way to see it so that wouldn't happen again?
She gave us an idea about some tops that you can actually put on top of there, and I went ahead and ordered them from the fire panel company, and they're very cheap. They're, I mean, very low cost, so.
Very good. Any other questions?
Is there any leaks in the jail anywhere?
There is one small leak, and we don't know that it's from a roof. We have the man, Marcia got him, he's meeting with Mr. Parker this morning as we speak, so just to double check that. make
How's
sure.
the water flow going now since we've had all this rain?
It's good, it's good.
Is it?
As far as around the building?
Yeah, staying away from the
Yeah, we
building.
still need to, it's still staying. We need to-
Stuff back in the bag, yes.
You cut that down back here at the edge?
Yeah, back there on the very back, when we was having that problem before.
We're standing in a lot of places right now.
Yeah.
It's right everywhere.
But as far as the building, we have no water columns whatsoever.
I was talking about the house.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are there any other announcements?
If I might, I'd like to make public hearing on a couple pieces of legislation that affect us. For all of you got the memo from Tim Allison talking about HB 1830.
Yeah.
Controlling the 8-liner operations that are being forced out of the city limits because of the ability of cities to draft ordinances and put them in the county. And it seems like there's only one county in Texas that can do anything about that, and that's Harris County. And Harris County is a pretty large county, and they pushed them all out into their neighbors. So they're asking that anyone who is that concerned with those to contact Dan Patrick, Vince Logan, and let them know that you're for the county being allowed to do something about the control of those 8-liner houses, what have you.
There was legislation passed last, I think that'd been the 83rd legislature that allowed Harris County, and I believe it also allowed Bear County. I think there were two, though I haven't heard anything about that second one much. Just Harris County one that been referring to all the time.
What this bill is doing is asking to allow all counties to
I believe it's pretty identical legislation. So, yeah, I've responded to that.
And then we've got Senate Bill 1630. It's going to add a lot of dollars to our budget if they raise the age of criminality to 18. It's going to create a lot of problems in cost-wise, because you know what juvenile judicial costs us anyway. So that extra year is going to cost some money. So again, I urge y'all to contact folks, any of the citizens that are concerned with the amount of taxes they pay, to contact us. So that's all I have to say.
Anything else?
They got the other bill that had to do with the caps on our.
They're going to modify the 6%, I understand.
Yeah, it's, originally was 4%, and they offered a committee substitute that increased that to 6%. I don't think that it's going to make it through, except that it may have a full amendment attached to it that would allow that bill's passage. So some of us have encouraged our legislators and senators to keep that amendment free.
I have had several conversations yesterday. That's an unfunded mandate, if you realize, because we have a lot of elections for tax districts. They have to consider a rollback election on that bill. It hurts the smaller counties more because they don't have to raise their taxes much to get up above that cap.
I think that was
So we need to,
SB 82.
I don't remember the number.
Also gonna get that homestead exemption passed through
The
to
$10,000 extra.
the 25, and that's gonna entail a special election in September. Throw it on the counties.
That's what some of them were afraid that, when you're talking about this, afraid they'll attach amendment to that bill. Will include this 6%.
Yeah, we look how it affects our tax base?
Probably won't affect the county since we don't allow no state exemption. It'll affect the school districts. We'll have to conduct an election
Will it affect the overall tax rate
for the
on
homeowner.
the property owner?
I believe there's 65,
How many of those exemptions do we have?
uh, get out there.
Several.
Several. A lot.
That's a part of calculation for effective rollback rates. We'll know that. Just a matter of information, we do not have an official estimate of valuation, but I have spoken to Luke several times, and he says that his best guess is that we'll probably lose about $45 million value. And that's at this point. We don't have any kind of final.
They lowered the cap and raised the exemptions, some opposite direction.
Or against each
Working against each
And I think most of that's probably going to be due to oil.
other. Even the citizens need to know what
And
they
they
have
have
in here come budget time.
Okay, very good. Item number 4 is consider county clerk minutes from previous meeting, May the 11th, 2015. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections that need to be made? Have a motion, Mr. Wiley?
Yes.
Martin? To approve those minutes as presented, all in favor? Carried. Item number 5, consider treasurer financial report.
Under the reconciled reports for April, everything's balanced. We've had a challenge keeping all of our accounts in order across the street at Sierra Bank. They had to go in and change everything and put all of our bank accounts with the same name, so we had to go over there and we've been busy.
Mean you actually been working?
I'm always working. Sheriff's Department, been busy too. And their payroll. Anyways, those are balanced, everything looks good. Any questions?
Second motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and second by Commissioner Pruitt to approve the financial report as presented. All in favor? Carried. Okay, item number 6, consider auditor's budget amendments and payers balance.
I have budget amendments,
Balance payers.
whatever they are. The $150,000 we moved out of the money market into the insurance fund last time. I had that on here. And also Commissioner Sipes has requested to move $36,000 out of his money market into his budget to pay off a piece of equipment so he can buy a much needed mower that he's gonna need very soon. So $36,000 he wants to move out of his money market, into his equipment line.
The 150 we took, we approved or authorized the last meeting.
Yes, and I have it on the official budget amendment.
The 36K will be moved from a money market into expense budget,
Yes.
actually increasing that.
Yes. So I'll put it on emergency one because the other was emergency.
Okay.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley to approve such budget amendments. Sipes. All in favor?
lost you when I get out of here. I won't take that personally. Vouchers? You ready? Okay. Total is $122,772.60, and of that, $108,597.13 is out of the jail.
Where are we on 2/3?
So moved on the voucher.
Just right here, we've gotten full reimbursement for precinct 2, partial for precinct 1, and everything else just needs to be done and turned in. But I think there's a little bit of something we have to do on Stacy's too.
Okay, we have a motion by
They're working on it.
Commissioner Wiley,
You'll be there.
second by Commissioner Pruitt. To approve vouchers payable as presented, all in favor?
I also have an invoice, Eric Brown and I have been talking, and he had one of the ovens out in the jail, the other one was working, and so we were gonna wait to do anything till after budget, and then the good one crashed. So he had to get it repaired. I have an invoice for $1,861.93. And that's just, is that working on the good one or the other one? And you still got part of it from the other one, right?
Yes, ma'am, but I told them to hold off until we decided what we wanted to do
Okay.
on
This
that.
will fix one of them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this has one of the ovens working. I would like to pay that out of jail development, which there's just a little over $4,000 in there this time. 1,800.
Start cutting wood.
I guess, put in a wood burning stove. 1,861.93.
Jail development.
So moved.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Define for me what jail development is, simply use
The money comes in from the phone cards that the inmates use, and so it can be used for any big items in the jail that you need repaired or bought. I think we paid for the washer out there, didn't we?
Talk time. Talk time.
Look at revenues on that, how they monthly, quarterly,
Monthly.
monthly.
And they vary how many. They have more women in there, they usually have bigger.
What
What are you
Depends on how
trying
many
to
we guess at hotels now that,
I'm glad you said that.
say? Yeah. Okay, that being said, also, and I was talking to Eric about this, Eric Stedham, I haven't talked to Eric Brown about this. I guess AL Telephone had to go out and pair some cables from the phone room to dispatch. And total on that bill is $3,525. It's, the lines were all maxed out.
He hadn't pulled the new lines yet, though.
Yeah, he hasn't pulled this yet.
Oh, okay, this is the estimate on it.
Is that the estimate for the total project?
Right, with labor and cables included.
Something's been chewing up the wires or not in conduit. So there's a lot of damage done. We're dropping calls on a daily basis in dispatch.
So
So
it's something that's gonna have to be done.
Right.
But on that, we need to share that cost with the city.
Well, and that's another thing, you know, and receive reimbursement. We've been sending over there, the dispatchers, all except the only dispatcher, then they send it back, they don't even pay for one of them that
They won't
comes in.
pay for 7
So we need to call
dispatches.
them after 4 days, because they didn't send.
They won't pay for any telephone.
They will pay no telephone.
Oh,
They
yeah.
said they have phone lines out there.
Well,
So we can try, I mean, but
They have been paying for one line.
Not through our budget, through their own.
Yeah,
they have a line out there.
their own lines, but their own telephone lines they pay for come through those very lines that are bad, so.
So there was a little, right, they just because they thought that'd been used a good deal for long distance calling.
They put it back.
What they,
Yes, sir.
right.
they budget for that phone line, their budget, where's that money going, are they paying us for the line, they're paying?
I don't know. They had the line that they paid for, that we
Yeah.
didn't bill for.
It was,
So
it was bad.
they're getting a special bill on their one line.
Right.
So it's really between the rafters and everything.
But I don't know, we, and like I said,
You're looking at the ceiling, and it is nightmare.
mean, we can pay for it through dispatch, I'm probably gonna need some money out of contingency to pay for it, but, we can try to turn it in and, but I don't know if all of it though isn't for dispatch, is it?
As far as the 25 line, no, I mean, not all of it will go to dispatch. It carries,
So say I don't.
it carries everything from all the phone lines from the DMARC through from the phone system down through the conduit back up. That's going to feed everybody's phone line. So we can divide that up accordingly as to what is dispatch versus
Yeah,
what
maybe
is the
that
rest of
works.
the sheriff's office.
But I would need,
Eric, are y'all gonna pull it
We're not-
through the 911?
we're not paying it
Well-
right now, but I just need to
There's
kind of get it
multiple
approved
conduits
so I know
back
we
there,
can use contingency. money.
and there's the majority of them aren't used. They're just
No, that's not a bill.
so we're gonna run it through a completely separate one, at least 911
Because
separate.
that box has its own.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we'll run
We
that
ran
completely
it
separate.
under the ground to start with.
Yeah, that's the way that these should have been run
Yes, yes,
before.
they play there.
They're supposed to.
That's another shared cost.
We're not pulling. I don't think we're pulling radio.
I'm not saying about mine, those should not work.
Yeah.
Well, we- I don't
Take a
know.
look.
We did cut out
Did
a
you
lot
count
of
that?
Every one of the phone lines are over budget, and I don't
I'll
know
do it.
what's wrong in here. As somebody that is supposed to be checking into that.
We didn't even have that line.
Is there a long distance usage?
Everything's, I mean, it's just, the jail, the SO, and the dispatch phone lines are all out of budget right now. And I don't know, something's not right.
Yeah, we use very few long distance in our office, and it's outrageous.
But anyway, if they have this done, I mean, I'll probably need,
Wayne deal.
wherever we pay it, I'll need
It's just the way the
contingency
county
money.
divides it, how it comes in.
Yes.
That's an
Every- divides it up evenly.
No, but I need to tell them, we need to go ahead and do it.
Since you're dividing the whole bill up equally, it would be really a problem somewhere else and just leaking over to everybody else's house.
And we might make one or two a month. And real short, less than.
I mean, even if we
Most
thought
of our
that,
800
maybe
numbers
just
would call.
throw it to the city.
I can look.
But I think we should check the
ladies' phones first. That's what you're saying, maybe we should check the ladies' phones.
Okay.
We'll just take that.
That's not,
It wasn't.
I wasn't real, we haven't done the work yet.
But do we tell them to do the work?
Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley, to pay $1,861.93 out of jail development fund for the repair of an oven. Right. All in favor? Carried. 5-0.
Okay, now that we authorize him to do
Stuff.
all the electrical stuff.
Up to them.
Up to them right there. And then we'll divide it up to who does what after we get it done.
I want to try to just get our money back.
Yeah.
The lines should be segregated there at the recorder to stipulate which station is which. So it should be easily dividable as to what technically runs into dispatch to appropriately divvy up the cost.
Well, still a little confusion on that, I think. Cheryl and I probably visit with the city about that regarding.
Well, reimbursement's the question, not the need for having to do it.
Well, see, I believe that the city of Graham receives a bill independently for a line that's connected to dispatch.
Part of that repair is their line.
Yes. Well, they receive the billing on that, and they have
So they do indeed have ownership of that line.
a complaint with regard to that, the charges come across that line. But kind of get involved with that, know just exactly what we're replacing.
Since you'll be primarily involved in the negotiation, how would you like the board to handle this?
Well,
What AL is quoting is pulling new lines from the phone system to the patch panel in dispatch for the entire sheriff's office jail, because they were run not in the best of ways when the building was erected. So this is to alleviate the issues of dropped calls, missed recordings, things of that nature. So technically, it has nothing to do with long distance per se. This is just connections running from our phone system to the patch panel.
And it's 3,000.
The cable, running new cable is most definitely not cheap, and running it correctly is what makes it cost.
3,525.
And the reason they're doing this is because they're dropping calls.
Well, there's been a variety of issues with it not recording correctly, us dropping calls, and it's mainly because the cabling is bad. And then you have insects and rodents that like to chew through things. Anything that's electrical.
Is this a copper telephone line?
I'm not certain what
This is not an
core
IP
material it is. I'm sorry.
phone. This is not an IP phone.
No. This is the old original phone system.
Would it be a good time to change to that?
Our phone system is prepared for that. It's just this is going to be the patch cable that runs between the two. So from there we operate.
So that would still have to be in good.
Right. That still has to be in place before we could roll things over to an IP phone.
This is the hard wiring of our phone system,
Yes, sir.
Just our phone pen?
dispatch,
Yes.
sheriff's
For all underneath that roof out there.
It's, currently it's not running in conduit.
It is not run through conduit. And so this
It
would
include the conduit.
this would actually include the labor of running through an available conduit back up appropriately to the patch panel at the recorder.
Now, 911 is run through conduit. It's in a totally separate place, and it is a
But it's still the same principle as these patches.
yeah, those need to come like it's being run, put down, under, through a conduit, everywhere.
And also for cost sharing, all the radio frequencies share the same bundle. They go from that same phone room up to the recording system that distribution box he was referring to. So you've got County Fire, Graham Fire, Colony, a bunch of frequencies that share that same bundle if you guys want to look those guys up as well.
Okay, Cheryl, you asking for authorization or transfer or?
Well, I mean, we don't have to transfer anything right now, but do we need to just go ahead and have the work done?
So you're asking for an authorization to pay the work?
That's all the people in town that can do that.
To be honest, some of the issues that we have out there right now is we've gone from one contractor to another and kind of bounced around. So we have multiple mines and multiple schematics that are being used, and that's part of our problem. So had we stuck with one vendor from the get-go, then it's a lot easier to decipher which direction they were going. But as we've had different hands touch it and different directions being used, it makes it difficult to figure out, what jumper from this patch panel to the other is actually doing. So to have one contractor do it makes the most sense. And after speaking to him, it makes the most sense to recommend that we do this. And the building is working on being 8 years old, which is not very long for cabling, but if it's not done correctly, then we run into outside interferences, and we've had the roof replaced twice at this rate. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables that can cause issues with this cabling since it's been run through the ceiling and not through a conduit.
And then that'd be broken down labor materials.
Yes, he should give it like that, because
Is that estimate?
it doesn't have it broken.
I think it does.
Oh, yeah,
I
it
think
does.
labor is 8.
875. Oh, excuse me, no, yeah, 875. He says it's gonna take 7 hours at 125 an
Most of it's actually materials.
hour. 2,650 is
Probably
material.
gonna be the same anybody, any vendor that's got local available.
He's saved us a lot of grief and time as we've had the 911 recorder having issues, and he's came in on his vacation to assist there.
But he can't touch it.
No. This is just a patch panel. It's separate. He's done great work for us, and honestly, he's been the one that was a pretty go-to and available contractor, so I would recommend that we stick with him, as he's the one that's been doing a lot of the work lately.
It's a long way back there from there to where you're going.
Works for me.
Right,
It makes sense.
They don't, the distance.
right. Especially going to the conduit, which is
Right.
Motion for authorization to rewire the SO dispatch telephone system. $3,505 system,
$35.25.
$35.25.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley and a second from Commissioner Rogers to that effect. All in favor? Aye. 5-0. That's two big things somewhere.
Somewhere, somehow.
Okay, item number 7. Discuss out of state travel for district court reporter to national convention in New York, New York.
Yeah, she's not here. Her sister, 49-year-old sister, passed away on Friday, so she is out. But she turned this in, and I think before she's gone to the national, she has enough money in her education line short of $68, which I could move out of miscellaneous if this were approved.
Everything else she's going to be needing to do.
No, I think this, she only goes to 1 year.
The last report's the last time.
That one time, they went to Galveston and went out on a boat.
These are extravagant trips. What does she gain from this certification?
Well, yeah, she does,
Could
and
be,
I have the
could be
agenda.
garnered at a lesser price somewhere else.
Well, I don't know, just like I looked at her flight is cheaper than what my mileage was to Austin. And that's what I told her, I can't do $387 flight.
In the past, she gave comparisons, if she'd go to 2 at one place, or she just goes to 1 at the one location.
That's round trip.
I've not seen those comparisons.
Well, in the past, she did, when she went to New Orleans one time, she went
And like I said, she'll probably be, but I have an agenda and it's a full day every day, so.
Well, I don't doubt that
Yeah.
she gets there what it is.
But yeah, she gets her certification through, I guess, this one rather than go to 2 or whatever.
Jackson.
Okay,
It's just, when you approve something like this to the public eye, it looks
sure, that I can understand.
like we're being rather extravagant with their tax dollars until we actually discuss the dollar amounts.
Yeah,
So, if we could see the actual breakdown of the dollar amount and what our alternatives might be,
yeah.
that history you're talking about, would be.
I mean, we asked her one time because we've done,
Was 1,700.
1,767.24.
she gets all of her hours of one location one
And
time.
like I say, it's not the travel, it's still
So rather than
registration
being
is the
gone
highest
to
thing.
multiple
It's
locations,
$800.
gone or all that.
Yeah, just the whole week or the few days she's there, yeah.
Guess the district judge okay?
Yes, he did.
ESB.
I think it sounds worse than what it really is.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think we need to just not
Well-
rubber stamp it so quickly and maybe take a look at it.
Yeah.
The lodge is like 209, that's maybe a little high.
I'm
No,
not going to do this last year.
In New York, that's cheaper than New York.
But to get in the state of Texas, to get your hours in the state of Texas, we're going at the minute for 220, and then she's gonna charge us 209. And like,
There's a lot of people think the same thing, we go to Galveston.
about the mileage, it's $500 for the mileage. It sounds worse than what it really is.
Say that when you say.
And she's getting all the training.
And she's getting it all in one whack.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and do it.
Last time she was on that cruise, I said I would do
That's
it.
a logical argument.
But the numbers kinda add up.
It does add.
Having had this discussion, I think puts us in a whole lot better stead.
Well, motion of Commissioner Wiley to approve out-of-state travel. District Court reporter second?
I'll second.
Huh?
I'll second.
Okay.
I've been sure this is the most economical way regards to highway plan.
Okay, we have a second.
So that somebody else wants this.
Not sure I'll see some numbers on that.
All in favor? Okay.
Vote.
She's got quite a few numbers right here. Just try to
All
pull it out, but
That's it. All the numbers are there any numbers there
I
for
think she's kicking in quite a bit too. But it's like,
other conferences that are available?
I think that's a problem though with this stenographer deal. I don't think there's that many out there.
And when they are, they're probably expensive, even local.
In this national one, they just move it to different location every
In San Francisco next year.
or Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, there you go.
We've been notified here at the county court that one of the services that we've been using real regularly is no longer going to service Young County. Texas depots, I believe is what it's listed, and they have several court orders. We use one primarily, but we've had 3 or 4 different ones. In county court, probate matters, and other things, juvenile matters. The reporter that we primarily use has taken the job in Fort Worth Court Law number 2, I believe, from the job there. The service has notified us that they're not going to service Young County.
That put you in a bind for a court.
So, I don't know, we've got some other, we use some out of Wichita Falls, some out of Abilene, I guess we'll have to go with some of those. Just remember, just information.
Just remember, we set precedence with this. And somebody else will say it wherever.
Well, we said that some time ago.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a financial consideration here. A lot of money going out of this county for life.
What? Well, we've got that option. I think that's on.
Maybe that's out the box.
Okay, I will, or I won't. Okay, item number 8. Consider employee bonds, Teresa Kilpatrick, deputy, chief deputy, district clerk, 5,000, and Megan L. Dawson, Young County Attorney Secretary, $5,000.
So,
Have a motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to approve those bonds as presented. All in favor? Carried. Item number 9, discuss and consider a use agreement between Texas Health and Human Services Enterprise and Young County, KR County Clerk of Young County. This was on our last agenda, table from our last agenda, to move over because there was a question regarding a couple of terms, and I believe Ms. Harden has contacted the Health and Human Services, and they have agreed to strike those 2.
607 and 608. The comments that we just added initially,
Has to do with liability issues
and market price.
and the state harmless. Had a little conversation over the listserv, and some question with regard to that. And, the state health services has agreed to strike those 2.
indemnification, insurance, indemnification and insurance.
Identification and liability issues. So, with pursuant to those clauses being removed from the contract, entertain motion to approve it.
So moved.
I'll second that.
That was 6107, 6108. Yep. Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Sykes, that pursuant to the removal of clauses 6.07 and 6.08 of contract between Young County and Texas Health and Human Services to be approved. All in favor? Carried. Okay, discuss, consider agreement with Chase Bank on e-filing, County Oregon County Clerk, Jackie Land District Clerk. Somebody's gonna have to
I have
help
the,
me out there on that a little bit.
have the contracts, this is where we mandated e-filing, and we'll also have one from Tyler Technologies, they're the only software company that they won the bid on, so they're doing it. But then we have,
Sold and broker.
And they're going out of state too.
but these are the, Chase contracts that we took over the other day, this is one for the district clerk, one for the county clerk, to get that set up for Sierra Bank, we had some changes here.
It says something to do with credit card services.
This is the, on the e-filing, which is the civil that the attorneys are mandated to do now. They pay by credit card, and Chase is the credit card that will be
We
the
don't have them all the time, but
Clearing house.
That's how it's gonna have to be, for the e-filing.
But this is the Chase contract, and then after this is set up, we will get a contract from Tyler Technologies on their side of it. That we'll have to- Like I say, it's mandated, but I.
There's no charge to us, is there?
No.
There's no charge.
But it's all on this server.
Self-funded?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, okay, it costs us nothing, this is just
Except a little work.
It's just like our credit
a
card.
little bit more
So
work.
if something goes wrong or whatever, you will have to deal with it.
Yeah. If so far it hasn't been bad.
She's been checking into it, asking, I know, because,
Rough and rocky road for you there.
We should be on the August or September of this year. So we're.
so after we get this set up, and then we'll get with Tyler and get
I
that
think we have to
contract.
get costs in, and then it comes from Tyler, and then it goes in, and then we're already going through webinar.
This particular agreement is Chase Bank or nothing.
It is. One for each.
That's what it sounds like, that's what I asked. Same here.
Yeah.
Make a motion to go ahead and get it in motion.
Well, it probably makes it easier that way, because if we had several different ones, it would be.
Well, I'm sure in the initial program, if we best keep some continuity with one person. Get back that telephone system.
Yeah.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and a second by Commissioner Pruitt to enter into the agreement with Chase Bank for e-filing pursuant to Kay Horton and County Clerk, Jackie Land District Clerk, so e-filing process. All in favor? Carried 5. Okay, this item number 11, discuss, consider DISD Project Center property transfer or an operation agreement. Don't have any of that, I move we table. All in favor? What the hold up was on that.
10-minute recess. 10-minute recess. 10-minute recess.
Oh, okay.
I heard that.
Recess in a minute.
You know, we just had the town green. They had all this. It's right over.
Lightning was coming down.
Where were you?
I'm not showing the back door. The glass door.
One strike like female, like right behind Jody, you know, they walk and scared the heck out
We'll
of
go and
me.
make the back doors.
And I also gave them a memo that they need to start on top of that.
Finish.
I told the jailers to stay on top
Item
of
number
this.
11,
So we got the
tabled that item. We've been through 12 previously. Item number 13, consider request proposals for various road maintenance applications. Stacy Rogers here, we'll redo this as we did a few weeks ago, I suppose.
They're gonna redo that Seacrest project, just cut it back a little bit, bids have come in. And then I found a couple of more, people that I would wanna send proposals to, see if they'll bid on it. If you get to looking at the bids that come in, some of them wasn't proposed right, they had cement figured in there, and once you divide that cement out, you know, they're within the ballpark of everybody else, so everybody needs to get on the same page. But if you go out for a request for proposals, they give you a chance to get some numbers in, and gives you a chance to call the bidders and talk to them about the bids and see if they can come down, just get one contractor to do a turnkey job.
So we go from bids to proposals?
Yeah, so we're going to, as far as the dates, Ms. Cheryl was talking about, are we gonna have a special session for budget hearings on about the 15th? Or are we gonna stay on our regular
On your proposed calendar.
Monday?
It shows 15th.
It shows 15.
On Monday?
That would help.
Yes.
That would get in 3 weeks, you know, to get the bids in, because today is a Tuesday, it's gonna kind of limit
It's gonna be
on
in.
our advertisements, so.
Y'all approve that budget calendar. Nobody wants to schedule.
Okay, I'm wondering if we go ahead and put bid openings on the 15th, if we're gonna have a special meeting anyway, or a call meeting anyway.
That would satisfy our
advertising.
advertising.
Just have to be in the meeting notice on.
Sounds good to me.
Just put the proposals need to be in Cheryl's office the Friday before, which would be
The 12th,
13th.
by 4 o'clock, and then open at 10 on,
Yeah, the 15 a.m.
on the 15th.
15,
That primer is killer, isn't it?
right.
Okay, on those proposals,
They killed me on that.
on those proposals, can he come up here Friday and look, do the proposal?
If it's a
Get a better
proposal,
idea.
you can.
Yeah.
You do that on proposal, so you can't
Well,
do
we
it on
can
bid.
even make it earlier on Friday if you want. I mean, we can make it by noon on
I do
Friday.
it noon Friday.
Okay.
That'll give everybody time, and then you can come after lunch and just look through them.
Okay.
Get a better feel of it before.
Look through there to present the proposals to the court on the 15th.
Yes, sir, at
I don't,
10 o'clock.
yeah, we'll put time on it. I don't know if we have to put time.
Oh, okay.
10 a.m.
If that's whatever.
You know, you look at, you just talk about the brown oil, one guy's 55 cents, and the other guys are $1.
Yeah.
Well, if you really figure that 55 cents in on the double course, then that makes your double course cheaper if you use the same contractor. But one contractor was cheaper on the double course than really the sealer, so you need to work to try to get one guy, and get her numbers down. It's kind of crazy the way they sent it in last time, so I appreciate that, if you'd allow me to do that.
Okay, we'll schedule that for motion by Commissioner Rogers to request a proposal for these various road maintenance operations.
Second.
Those are being the auditor's office by Friday, noon Friday, on what date?
The 12th?
And be presented to the court by 10 a.m. June the 15th. All in favor? Carried, Wiley. Okay, item number 14, discuss, consider A6 for Belknap.
He had the Newcastle schools coming today, so he really needed to stay there. He had sent Ann some
Bids.
Yeah, I don't know if my second page, I guess I didn't print. It's quite a bit more than what they talked about before. This one was 7,000. And this one, I don't know what the second page is, but I'll have to look at it. It was 8,000 for Air Smart. I'll have to go get the second page.
Who was this other one?
This was Lansing Mechanical. And he said something about they're gonna put, sock, like an air sock. And were they talking before putting evaporative cooling in there? Cause we had destroyed
We were
the,
talking about like, you know,
Pipes.
those pipes.
we had two different ones. One was the pipes. I thought
You want
that
one
was-
of that one? You know how some old buildings just have like the pipes that's running, and then the vents running out?
Yeah, well, that works.
Yeah, that's basically, that's it, yeah.
Restaurants do it too.
He said like they have at, Phil's Chili's was the other one.
Right.
Yeah,
It's very be cheaper that way.
the sock, you just got openings coming down on both sides.
And I was out there last Tuesday, we took the grandkids out in the afternoon, it was cloudy, it was windy, and it was hot in that museum. So there's no air in there,
No, it's nasty.
and it gets hot, people can't stand to stay in there.
Is it just two bids?
Yeah, get serious with that, there's a lot of,
Lot of
even
room
our
in there.
contractors around here, that have to do more. We need to have more.
Yeah.
These proposals were just obtained by Jim,
Jim, yeah.
so we put out the bid.
No,
What is
Put it out for proposal.
yeah, cause it's only, what is it, is it 8,000?
8,000.
What was we thinking, about 3,500
Last year when we talked about it, because Ann said there's money in that donation, and I'll ask her when she gets back, I can't remember how much is in it.
I thought we put 5,000 in
There
there.
was 15,000 in that donation deal, but I remember that.
I don't know.
I believe that's right, 14 or 15.
Why don't we just table this for the next time, and then we'll try to get some more.
We've got another little issue too out there.
Bids.
We're gonna have to take care of, and that's get the Belknap Cemetery. We've got a fencing issue out there.
Jim and I talked about something, and we might just get Kramer to do it, but having like Newcastle welding shop come and put like a metal fence around it, well, it'd be good practice for them, just find the material to put it up.
The antique fence around Pioneer Cemetery is available to us.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to prove that's gonna be too hard to handle. The fence,
Too much of it.
this chain link fence that's out there, top rail, all of it is repairable. And I went out there and looked at it, took several pictures of it over the weekend. Chain link fence, top rail pipe, they're, look, appear to be in good enough shape to repair, rehabilitate, but it's gonna have to be taken down. Fence lines are gonna have to be struck off. There's got a lot of growth, briars, trees coming up and whatnot. But cattle are getting in there. It's gonna be real difficult to mow and maintain. Got a lot of headstones knocked over. There's good many of them laying on the ground.
Needs to be a full cemetery rehab, isn't it?
Yeah.
That property, immediately surrounding, all others belongs to them. That's, they can talk to him probably about what he'll be continuing to allow us to do.
As far as I know, that cemetery is probably exempt from his control of any kind anyway.
Well,
Not that we don't want to get be good neighbors.
still probably need to be consulted,
Absolutely.
discussed with, but I think the fence that's there is real, could be rehabilitated. But it's gonna have to be taken down and re-erected. Need some equipment to clean up
You care for that road going in? You care for that road that's going into the cemetery? Is that a county cemetery?
It's a historic cemetery. I don't
Well, no, that's historic, it's a county facility.
know that I would say it's a county cemetery.
I just wonder what the families of the people who are laid to rest there would say to do that. It did.
That's what we think we care about.
Uh,
What do you think we care about?
Well, would they care to spend some money to see the cemetery rehabilitated?
That cemetery's got folks in it way back in the 1800s.
And they got a lot of them.
I've got two.
That's why I was wondering, I mean, if we just, even if we just built a top height fence for it, the bottom, and with a cow, because all they're doing is rubbing it, when they rub it, that fence, they're over, you know?
They're going over to
Build
this.
some- Yeah, build something strong up, you know, when it's strong going over.
Is it not fence a cat house?
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't measure it, but it's pretty good size. No, it's bigger than that.
I thought it was like 150 by 300.
They told
When I was looking at the number of footage of that old fence that we were going to start historical with, I agree with the judge, it's way too far to do. So that's not all enough, substantial enough to keep it out.
food for thought.
Yes.
Think the trees are gonna have to be bulldozed or just backed over?
Yeah, something like that. I'm at backhoe or motor grader.
I think we got, if we had Newcastle, if y'all want to do that, help us. If not, then if we just combine all four of our precincts and went out there, we probably have it done in a day. We got the material to do things to it. Clean it up. Yeah. And I think we probably could hide numbers if y'all wanted to do something like that.
What do you say, it's 100 by 350 or 300?
150 by 300.
I figured something like 150 or so,
Yeah.
maybe 200
So
or
you-
300.
You got one gate,
900.
one gate going in?
Well, it's got a walk-through gate, and then it'll have a gate of some sort that you can get a piece of equipment in.
Let's put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Talk about it.
Okay. I'll make that note that we'll include the cemetery on that discussion. Item number 14 will be tabled for our next meeting. Suggested we get a few more estimates on, there's a lot of heating air conditioning companies around here.
Right.
One was there somewhere. I couldn't get that second page print out of there, we'll just print that
Over
first.
$2,000 higher.
Item number 15 is discuss, consider a FY 2016 budget calendar. I think that's about the last information that you have on there. Is any of you use that?
Yeah.
It's basically the same calendar as we had last year. The dates are just moved one day, one way or the other. We shortened up one day. And might have took out maybe one or two workshop sessions, but other than those, it's basically the same calendar calls for adoption. Hearing on the 24th of August. June 8th, try to introduce some of the budget requests. Have some kind of estimate of the taxable value. It won't be final, I think, July 15th is when the final, when the certified value is to be due.
What date?
July the 24th.
July 24th, 15th, is when
That's
that's
the
due.
24th of this.
Yeah, that may be when we present it, but I believe it's due to the court on the 15th.
Okay. What day were you anticipating figuring the tax rate?
Oh, yeah, we've got, let's see.
Can't remember what we talked about.
July.
27.
Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna figure on the
Yeah,
Yeah, tax rate.
we'll, see, we've got the certified tax roll due. I talked to him about that date, I can't remember what
I
date
can't
that was.
believe that. You talked to me about it too, I didn't mark it on my calendar.
Yeah, that's on the 24th. To calculate the effective tax
Okay.
rollback. But it just varied one day, really one day off, I believe that this year came one day earlier than it did last year.
That's what I was gonna say. We approved this.
It kind of ties up everybody's summer.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
That puts us in line to make any adjustments that we may need, or we can't agree on things, then we have to republish some items that gives us about a 30-day interval there to accomplish those tasks.
Motion that we had set the calendar, start calendar.
Motion by Mr. Pruitt, is there a second?
I'll second.
Roger, he beats to it. To adopt this budget calendar as presented, all in favor? Carried. Okay, item number 16. Discuss and consider suggestions on inmate substitute for Eric Brown, jail administrator.
Good morning, man. I'd like to thank the court for its time this morning. What I would like to be able to talk to you about is possibly signing with Southern Healthcare Partners as our main provider. At the back of that packet there is we have our numbers that I got from the auditor's office. 2012, our medical budget was $128,669. 2013, $129,533. 2014 was $129,455. As of year to date, we've currently spent $64,457.83, which we're only halfway through the year. We're going to be probably at $120,000 this year as well. The company that we have looked at and talked with can give us a contract for $66,000 a year with all health care provided, with a $20,000 pool, which would make our total cost, if we spent every dime in our pool, at $86,000. Currently, right now, we have a hospital contract to where we have a nurse practitioner every 2 weeks come to the jail. We have no one on call. The only people that are on call are myself and the assistant jail administrator, which is Sergeant Van Watts. We are the ones that have to make those calls or those decisions with an emergency, whether to take those people to the emergency room or what kind of care that they first need to have at that point in time that we feel necessary. The thing that really does to us is puts us on the hook if anything goes wrong with that prisoner. If something goes wrong health-wise and we make the wrong call, then our county and that jail is liable for everything that person's going to sue us for. With this company, they take the liability completely off our shoulders. They have a nurse that is on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She also is at the jail 5 days a week, a minimum of 20 hours a week. And we have a doctor that comes in once every 2 weeks. Right now, it's not cutting the hospital out because we're still gonna have to use the hospital. Our inmates, if something happens, we're still gonna have to take them to the hospital. But we're not gonna be paying for that emergency room visit. We're not gonna be paying for anything above that $86,000. So whatever emergencies incur, whether it be a care flight, whether it be any kind of emergency system call, whatever, that company is gonna take over that cost. I gave you a couple of letters from other counties that have had that company. There was one county, I believe Calhoun County in Port Lavaca. This company saved them $72,850 in 1 year. Like I said, right now we're averaging over $120,000 a year. With this company, we can do everything plus more for cheaper for only $86,000.
What brought you to Southern Health Partners? What's your relationship with Southern Health Partners?
I took bids from every medical care company at the jail
Have you
conference.
used Southern Health Care Partners?
Yes, I have.
before?
Yes,
Where
sir.
have you used those?
I used them in Stevens County.
Have you had any negative reports?
No, sir.
Well, I've seen negative reports on Southern Health Partners myself.
I also checked with the Texas Jail Association and asked what kind of standing that company was currently in. They said that they are above board and have had no negative reports on that company through the Texas Jail Association.
They got a BBB rating.
Yes, I mean, I don't know for sure.
What it is.
This says first year. Does that mean that we can negotiate another price?
We just go year by year with them.
So it could be 86 this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be, we will never, and that's the deal, we sign a new contract with them yearly. Or if we're unhappy with them, we can get a 30 or 60 or 90 day out at any point in time of the contract.
This is quite a question because lately I've seen on our listserv on county emails, counties are asking for representative contracts from other counties for local hospital services. So it seems like there's a little bit of a trend to get away from these prepackaged service plans like this. My intention is to call those people and ask them why they're moving to local services like this. One of the things I'd hate to mess the relationship up that we have now if we negotiate that thing so hard to get it where it's at now and not be able to go back to it should something happen with this and have to go back. But if we can save that kind of money and do you know exactly how they're managing to give us $129,000 worth of medical care for $88,000 or $86,000?
They train all their personnel is very highly trained. They train with jail staff. And most of these companies are all going to be pretty much about the same. Some of them are going to be more, some of them are going to be less. There's some companies that specialize in larger jails, and there's some of these medical companies that specialize in smaller jails. The ones that specialize in the smaller jails know how much of a burden it is to put on the jail and the county. So what it pretty much does is we're trying to cut down on the trips to the emergency room. We're trying to cut down on the medicine that the inmates are getting. So that's pretty much how they do that, is that they don't, and I'm not trying to put blame on anybody, but they don't give the inmates medicine that they don't really need. We're not going to have with these folks, we're not going to have 35 inmates on prescription for ibuprofen. They're going to tell that inmate, this is what you do, this is a medical answer for your question, this is what you can do to get better. They're not just going to medicate.
So we actually pay for prescription ibuprofen?
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
And the $86,000 cost covers everything, like I said, that covers everything. That's one cost across the board for every single thing. The $129,000 over those few years, that covers everything as well. But like I said, with this company, we can get everything plus more. We can have somebody at that jail 5 days a week. We can have a medical personnel on call 24 hours a day at our disposal. And we can also have a doctor there once every 2 weeks.
Obviously, from everything I've heard about you, you're very good at what you do,
Thank you.
and we're glad you're here. Is there anything you see in the daily operations of the jail that could help bring down these medical costs? Because I know some of these costs were from some traumatic and catastrophic situations that occurred out there at the jail that we got, lack of a better term, placed on the hook for.
And quite frankly, you're gonna have one of those or several of those every single year.
So we need to be
And that's-
budgeting for those?
Well, that's the benefit of this company. If you have those emergencies, once this company takes over, they will take care of that emergency.
So if we spend $200,000, all we're gonna be able to look for is $86,000.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Is it too good
That's
to be
all
true?
we're doing, man.
Yeah. So like the medications and stuff, where they come
They will come from their own, I mean, they will order the medication.
They have their own pharmacy?
Yes, sir.
from? So we're cutting our pharmacy out here.
Yes, sir. But at the same time, this company also works hand in hand with MHMR, to whereas we do all the scheduling in that, at the jail. And I know that I harp on this, but it can't be stressed enough about the liability of us handling meds, ordering meds, and taking care of those meds for those inmates. We are on the hook big time for that as far as liability.
Mr. Brown, put you in that jail cell with people who are unsavory characters
Sure.
anyway.
I understand
And
that.
give you guns and handcuffs and police cars and
But I'm not
lots of
talking,
liability swirling around your head.
and I'm not talking about, but I'm talking about financial liability to just the county as well.
I think we've got several situations going on now that we've got some liability resulting from the jail.
So you're saying there's, I mean, educate me on this. You said there's 24-hour care for them if there's an emergency.
24/1, they're on call 24 hours a day.
I'm saying, let's say somebody's having a heart attack in there,
Right.
you're taking them to the ER.
Yes. And all we will do is, we will contact that nurse, and that's another thing, the nurse, the doctor, we will have a say in who they hire. And we've already requested that they hire from in-county. They had asked if we didn't mind if they talked to the technical college here, and I said, that's great, so. But yes, I mean, something like that, we're gonna take,
Right.
it's just, we let the medical personnel know about it.
So they have a massive stroke in there, and like he said a while ago, it adds up to $200,000 when we had to ship them to Dallas and all that.
Sure.
We're still only out.
Let's say that you have a bill
$80,000
that's $180,000 at a hospital. They are gonna call that hospital and say, okay, look, they're gonna see if they can get the cost down, just by negotiating with that hospital.
Well, is it like an insurance company? I have 2 accidents in 1 year,
Mhm.
the next year,
No.
they go, where are they gonna go?
Up the
Way
price.
up, yeah.
But that's part of that's part of what they.
Year-to-year negotiation?
Yes.
See, somebody's gonna have to ante up on that.
Somebody's got to pay the difference.
You know, we've been down this road before because we've had $80,000 to $100,000 bills knocked down to 27,000.
Sure. By
You know,
negotiation.
by negotiation.
Mhm.
But you still got $20,000 you're gonna come up with, 26,000.
Sure. I think that before I can actually compare the two, I need kind of a better understanding, maybe Marcia, of where we've been, how the other system has worked for us, or where it's not worked for us. Can you-
Well, it has certainly gotten better in the last year, and we had 3 incidents this year that if we hadn't had, our costs have been substantially down. I really feel like our local pharmacist has gotten things in order and in line a lot better. Because naturally, as he explained to me, I'm a taxpayer, I want to keep
Why
that
are we using
business.
prescription Tylenol?
We don't. That's the first time I've heard of that.
Well, apparently that has, because he said it was.
I looked through the prescriptions. Now, we had.
Because
one
everybody gets
person-
sick when they go to
One
jail.
person that had,
mean,
all
that's gonna
of that
happen.
stuff, had that real high-powered ibuprofen that is a prescription. But,
That's still ridiculous.
if they got past that, then shame on them for not giving them the Tylenol there. I don't see it till once the bill comes in, but the guy we locally use, if something comes in that even thinks they shouldn't have it, he immediately calls me and he says, this is what the doctor wrote, and I call and I go, we don't do that. So we've kept a handle on that. But the big expenses we've had, it's not because of the stuff here, it's what's happened out in the jail, the nurses that have caused it. So
Medical doesn't work.
it's-
Medical doesn't work for us just for example, there's a pregnant female that comes in and gets booked in. She goes to the doctor and she gets a prescription for methadone. Methadone cannot be ever in a jail setting.
Yeah.
But we had it prescribed to her by a doctor, and if we didn't say, no, we're not gonna do that, I mean, I understand what Marcia's saying, but if it's on a weekend and that prescription gets filled by mistake, and gets given to that woman in that jail, we're in major violations of several
Right,
rules.
and I agree with Eric on that, but one of the things too that has worked for us in the past that kind of slipped up a little bit was, I know Judge Bullock's helped me out a lot through this through the years. We keep a look on all the inmates and who's got what and what charges and what's coming up. And if there's something we know that's a person that has been sickly and, or fixing to have a baby, or, you know what I'm saying, we work to get that person out and rearrest them later after that.
Something rather than incarceration.
Yes, we have done that in the past. We've been stuck a couple of times because some things has got lost in the translation a couple of times. I'm just curious, is this gonna cover their eyeglasses, their dental? There's lots of other things that, I mean, that.
Yes,
that
it
says
does.
we
It
have
covers,
to-
it covers everything. But first of all, we don't pay for, we don't have them go to the optometrist now. I don't allow that. If they would like to have that done, they can wait till they get out.
I agree.
Well, and I've always agreed with that.
As far as
I was
dental, all we
told I had
allow
to.
is
Extractions.
extractions, and yes, that's covered.
And we've always did just extractions. When I started doing it, they were doing fillings, and I said, absolutely no fillings. I know the dentist
How do
would-
you do an extraction? You take it to a local doctor? Just
Local dentists that just get one.
like the one we're using now? Pretty much just takes care of it.
I understand that Mr. Brown said that'd be somebody on the site, 24 hours a day.
Not on site, no, sir. They're on site 5 days a week, 20 hours a week minimum. They are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if something were to come up in the jail to where, let's say that somebody thinks another inmate might have TB, once we test them, the test comes back positive, we call that medical personnel, they get that person taken care of.
You said 5 days a week, minimum of 20 hours a week.
Yes, sir. Right now, we have a nurse practitioner there 1 day every 2 weeks, that's it. We have no one on call.
So you mean you can't call her if you need to get a problem?
We can't call, no, sir, we can't call after hours to the medical personnel we have now.
I'm talking about during the hours.
So he said,
Yes, sir, we do. I mean, during the working hours, we can call,
Okay.
but only 8 to 5. And if it's a
As far
weekend,
as the medication goes, how's the medication with them gonna be different in distribution than what it would be the way you're doing it now?
they order it, they pack it, all we do is give it to the inmate in their hands. We don't do the ordering, the only handling we do is from what that nurse gives us to the inmate.
So it's individually packaged,
Yes,
with a
sir.
name on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, it should be that way now.
It
It
should
should
be
be
that way
blister
now.
pack now.
We have to take it out of the packs and individually pack it.
Really? You told me he
No.
individually packed it.
We pack those in the control room.
So we've currently spent $64,000 this year,
Yes, sir.
so we're on pace for $150,000 this year.
Right.
I mean, you're on pace for it.
that's 8 months.
Well, I would hope that the
That's less
incidents,
than 100,000.
the incidents that happened,
So we haven't had any incidents in January.
yeah,
It just depends.
The incidents, I can understand,
If this is done through the fifth one.
because
It's
one
about
of them particularly
$64,000.
had to go to Wichita Falls, and if that was quite a,
I was thinking, yeah.
it's currently, you're gonna spend roughly about 120,000 this year. That's what we're on foot for.
I just don't see how you operate having that PA there once every 2 weeks.
It's a struggle.
The only part I like about what you're proposing is that nurse there every day, for 5 days a week.
And she works directly with the jailers, hand in hand.
See if maybe working for this company is they're taking one person, maybe trying to do 2 or 3 jails at one time every day, you know, put her on the route to get that cost
But
down.
5 days, that's an average of 4 hours a day, a 20-hour minimum again. It sounds like maybe it's kind of like the teledoc system where you've got these doctors on the end of the phone to help you do diagnoses.
No, she's on site for a minimum of that time.
But you've got a number when she's not on site?
Yes.
Call.
Is she RN, LVN?
That's whatever we decide.
One of these jails is just 15
So you get to pick your nurse?
We get to, when they go to hire, we get to sit in and have a say in who we hire.
So they hire them for 15 hours a week?
This is,
For the bottom.
for the law.
And I talked to the lady and she has, they increased that to 20 hours, I believe it was this year. And I believe kept the cost pretty much the same. And I can understand about the big emergency, that's part of, they will take part of your cost pool out of that $20,000. Let's say your cost pool is $20,000. Now, out of that emergency, let's say that the emergency is $85,000. They're gonna call and negotiate that down as much as possible. They're gonna take a percentage out of your cost pool and put that towards that money plus what they do. Also, if out of that $20,000, what you don't spend as a county, let's say that we don't have any major catastrophes and we spend $5,000, so there's $15,000 left in that pool. You're gonna get back a minimum of 50% of that. There's one county, I believe, that got back a $6,000 check.
About the other 50%.
They count that as part of their, that goes towards their losses or their costs.
So they're gonna take 10 of it, or if 15, they're gonna take 7,500 of it anyway.
Yes, sir.
Or if it stays at 20, they're gonna take 10 of it.
Yes, sir. And that's some of the way that they help incur their costs.
Well,
And you're not taking nothing away from Young County, because if there is an emergency,
We still have to.
we're still paying our county.
and I still don't see how they make ends meet on there. That's why it's not just a great deal more than a salary benefits.
And I don't know how their company works.
Does that, the person that you hire, is that a Young County employee or is that a
They're a
Southern Health
SHP.
Fund employee? But you hire.
No, so I just have a say in who they hire because they're gonna be working with
So
us.
take your recommendation.
Yes, sir.
They won't work for us, right?
No, they will not work for the county.
They just asked, they just said on the interview, and yeah, we can work with those people, basically.
So who will they be working for, the sheriff's office?
No, sir. They will be working with us, but they are an SHP, a Southern Healthcare Partners employee. And they are covered financially, insurance-wise, everything through their company. So once they step into that jail, everything that they do, everything that happens medical-wise is, that company is not their own. That takes everything from us off our shoulders as a county and as a jail.
So managerial control of this company will be on your shoulders?
Sir?
Managerial control of this company, of this contract,
Of their
will be on
employees.
your shoulders
Yes, sir.
as jail administrator?
Yes.
5 days a week.
Yes, sir.
What's your process now? How do you determine when one goes to a doctor?
They put in a medical request, we have to see them. And that means that they have to see the doctor. But let's say that,
No, let's go back. If they put in a medical, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm sick,
yes, sir,
all right, you go look at him, and what are you gonna do from that point there?
we call and tell the doctor and schedule an appointment when he's gonna be coming the next time. Let's say that somebody gets sick to this day, they get sick on Tuesday.
Okay.
We're gonna make an appointment with that doctor when he comes to the jail, but that doctor's not gonna be here until next Thursday. So that person's not gonna be seen until next Thursday.
That's how it
That's
is,
not the way it's
that's how it is in real life too,
Yeah.
really.
Really, you don't have to wait,
Yeah, you don't get,
you know, most times, you know.
Not me. I'm going, I'll do it
Well,
in that
you
day.
can.
I'm sick.
You all know where we're going?
I do.
You have an
If I've got an
inside.
emergency,
I might have
they'll work in, but if you've got.
Hard to fully describe the situation.
Yes.
But originally,
The
on
original
an
contract,
emergency case, they were gonna come out and see us,
That's what I-
and that's an extra charge for us. So I know that's in that contract.
But the way that deal is set up, there's a computer in that room that has all those inmates' files directly to hospitals. So they know all the background of those people. Know what they've done, what
But
they
this
haven't
company
done.
can do the same thing. All they have to do is put in a request to get that inmate's file. And we have a medical file on hand in the jail as well.
All the stuff.
Yes, sir.
But the hospital won't let them,
Hospital might go let them get in there, do it.
Yes, I mean, they have to.
they,
If
they
they're an
don't,
inmate marshal, they have to give them that information.
they can give them the information that, but they don't have to let them use that computer that hooks into
No, they
all
don't.
of the other.
No, they
stuff.
don't, but, I mean, they'll have their own computer.
Right, he'll just have to unhook from their software.
Right. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I don't, they'll give them any information they request, but Eric will have to set it up
It's
without.
surprising to me that this budget has been so
No
consistent.
access.
Computer's ours.
In the 128, 129,000 range for the last 3 years. I mean, really, time just seems like rather than being over budget, we're under budget.
And we have, a lot of it varies on how many inmates we have and what, catastrophic things that's happened. And we've had our
So maybe we
low,
should be looking at $100,000.
Our budget's $100,000 this year, and we're still
Yeah.
going over.
I mean, it's
So I
been
say we
going,
may set that budget.
it's been going 129, if we set our
Well,
budget.
we're on pace for 100,000 this year.
But if
If
we
I
set
could,
our
we could
budget,
set our budget for $90,000 each and every year,
it'll be
and it'll still be
$90,000.
under.
Right, it'll never go over.
Exactly.
I don't buy that, I won't be.
I think your responsibility, along with my responsibility, is to call these people and see, what happens each year.
I've been with these people for 3 years in a row when I was at the other county, and I found it hard to believe at first, but it's on paper and it does prove true.
When's our contract term?
We can cancel with a 30-day letter.
30 days.
I know we've canceled 30 days, but what's the term?
There are no dates on the
You know,
contract.
you-
The grant agent.
very original, once we,
That's
30 day out. And I
At-will
know that
contract?
if they are rewriting their contract, because I had talked to Joey a good while ago, and they were rewriting their contract.
And I spoke with Mr. Clark as well, and he said, hey, I'd like to get somebody here for a little bit more time during the week. And his response to me was, and I said, well, that sounds great. And his response was, but it's gonna cost quite a bit more money. So, I mean, that's gonna be more money on top of the 120,000 we're already spending if we get them for more time. The current system that we have now is too expensive, and we can have a system that's better, cheaper, that provides more care for our inmates and reduces the liability for our county.
I think we should take that up under our budget.
Eric, do we just like, we would just write them a check for 66,000 and then the 20 is just another line to use?
Yes, ma'am.
We would hold it.
We'd hold that money, just pay them
Yeah.
as we needed to.
Right.
I don't think we ought to jump on this.
No, I don't think so, but I think it's our responsibility, each and every one of us, to call each one of these counties. I guarantee I will too, and I'm gonna find out, because if it saves us money, then we're stupid not to do it.
We've had,
Eric, can you talk to that?
Sure.
No, I'm not saying.
And I can get a list of every county that they have, if you would like, and I'll bring it to the court.
In the state.
I want it. I want this. Because I'd like to find out if, like that one year that we had that, that care fine of $750,000 and all that other crap that we had. I want to find out if somebody has a situation like that, and it was $86,000 this year, how much was it the next year?
Sure.
Was it $186,000? It's like, it's got to come from somewhere.
We had an inmate in Stevens County who broke his neck and almost died. The bill was $196,000, and through Southern Healthcare Partners, I believe we paid $7,200 total.
They paid, you didn't.
No, we paid $7,200
Out of your 20,000.
out of our total 20,000.
Add your 20,000, stop loss, kind of.
I need some time to digest this.
Motion table.
Motion table.
Thank you for your time.
You bet.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sykes, second by Commissioner Wiley, to table this issue for further consideration. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Okay, item number 17 now. This is just what Commissioner Sykes requested this. It's been on the agendas for the last three meetings, I believe, or 4 meetings. Discuss policies and procedures for use and operation of armored vehicles. That is so. Mr. Sykes?
No, I just like to see, do we have anything?
Yes, sir. I think we've offered 3 times for you to come look at our policies, Mike. If you're more than welcome to come look at it.
My request in the agreement made right here with Officer Budark was that he would bring those policies so that we could discuss them at the court.
Okay.
Then he told me that I could come, if I wanted them, I could come get them.
Those weren't.
And I went that morning and you were not there when I went by.
It's the nature
So I
of
said,
business.
sir,
It's the nature of business, sir. I don't know when I'm gonna be needed somewhere.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with you. I said you weren't there when I got there. For whatever reason, I'm sure you were taking care of your business. But, you know, these meetings have been called and asked you to come up here and explain to it like we initially agreed upon. That's all we're waiting for.
Well, let me say something about that, with regard to that. Those kinds of operational policies and procedures are maybe not for public discussion. They may be something that could interfere with the safety of officers and all those kinds of things like that. So, you know, if you'd like to see those, I think you need.
No, I'm not. My question is, why do you as a commissioner look at my policy?
That's fine.
I know, I'm just asking because you got you're a commissioner, I'm a sheriff, I run my department, you run your department, you don't run my department, right? So I'm just, you're more than welcome to come by the sheriff's office and look at them,
Very good.
the whole commissioner's court. can.
We just budget your department, and that was a new piece of equipment that we're gonna have to budget for.
Okay.
And I just wanted to see just exactly, when you ask us for money in your budget to operate that particular piece of equipment, what it is in that budget that might be costing that kind of money. Okay, and that's all there is to it. And of course, at the time, there's, and it continues to be special interest in local law enforcement agencies having those kind of pieces of equipment. Right. So,
Well, it's kind of calmed down, but it keeps.
until President took them all away last week, so.
Well, he didn't,
He didn't take them all away, just the track vehicles.
just the track vehicles, and we don't have a track, so, okay.
Then it's because of that policy situation? Okay.
Okay,
I agree that those matters probably don't want to be, the public eye.
So you're saying you do have those in place?
Yes, sir.
And they're available for us to look at
Yes,
in a
sir.
private setting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
More than welcome to come by.
Okay. Any action be taken there? No action. Item number 18, consider burn restriction. I don't think there's
Don't think anything.
any burn ready to burn that. But you know, we're growing a lot of fuel. Someday it'll turn off hot dry again.
Not very easy going.
A little bit.
Restricted say, well, no action. Okay, no action be taken on 18?
No, sir.
Item number 19, this is going to be, we'll move into a closed session, provide the next government code 55.07.2 and 551.0725. One bill is to deliberate the possibility of requiring